Thanks for joining us again. My name's Darren Draper from Draper Environmental Consultants. We do what we do because we believe in innovation for the environment, especially in the areas of water, stormwater and wastewater. We want to be at the forefront of new research. We want to be bringing and recommending new technologies and technologies that we're confident work to our clients and to the industry. We want to help our world develop in the most sustainable way possible. One of the areas of our business is field monitoring to help our clients understand what's going on in their site in terms of water quality and environmentally, but also looking at their technologies, working out how they are operating, are they performing. In the next series of videos, I want to share some of our experience in setting up field testing systems that comply with the Stormwater Quality Improvement Device Evaluation Protocol, or SQIDEP for short. This protocol was developed by Stormwater Australia, who are the custodians of it. And I should also let you know here that I am a director of Stormwater Australia, and I receive no payment whatsoever for my involvement on the board. And this series of videos is simply our experience shared with you, which we're doing without endorsement, implied or otherwise, from Stormwater Australia. We've set up and managed 15 sampling sites, monitoring sites for multiple clients over the past 5 years. What I want to share with you in this short series of videos is a few tips about how we do it. That's not to say that every site has to be set up in exactly the same way, because every site has its own unique challenges. In this video, I want to share some simple tips for good sample intake setup. The SQIDEP protocol provides some general tips on where to collect your samples from, but not the specifics, again, because each site is different. One of the issues that we've found is that using autosamplers to collect a sample from surface flow is incredibly challenging. So to capture a sample from these tricky sites, what we typically do is fabricate a stainless steel trough that will give us that volume that we need to satisfy the minimum sample volume of typically 200 millilitres. The trough then overflows into the treatment system for testing, and we collect samples at the outlet then. On dirty catchments like busy roads where you get a lot of sediment load, it's important to check that trough and the sample lines before and after storm events when you expect them, just to be sure that they're not blocked and you don't end up with clogging during that event. When installing your sample hoses, they need to be located to capture the flow. Now, seems like a simple statement, an obvious statement, but what we've found is that sometimes the way certain pits are created and constructed with multiple inlets, they can create a unique flow path through the junction pit. So sometimes, like this one that you see here, it's important to actually watch it during a storm event to identify where those low flow paths go so that you can install your sampler intake there. The other important thing is that we recommend that both the inlet and outlet sampler hoses are installed pointing upstream into the flow that's coming to them. This ensures that you don't end up with eddies forming around that inlet hose or the sampler hose, and that can cause air to be entrained into that sample and reduce the volume that you're collecting there. You want to get similar volumes from both your samplers in and out in these systems. We also recommend that you check the maximum length that you're going to draw that sample across during that initial setup stage. If that sample hose gets too long and the velocity drops, you can end up with sediment settling out inside the sample hose. One, that changes your sample, but two, it ends up blocking the hose and causes problems down the track. We have also had a bit of experience with the sampler screens, or there's an intake shroud that comes with some samplers, and whilst these are really good in permanently wet systems where it can keep leaves and plastic bags from blocking up that intake hose, what we found in typically dry systems like stormwater pipe networks and drains, that these actually hold the pipe or hold the intake up off the bottom of the stormwater drain and prevent capturing samples during those really low flows. Another tip is we try to find a sample location where you have at least 5 pipe diameters upstream that are basically a straight pipe. This allows the flow to settle down, become relatively uniform as it's coming down to your sample intake, and reduces all that turbulence so that you can actually get a good sample instead of potentially getting air entrained into that sample. Something else that we've also learnt through hard experience is to try and find a location where you can inspect it from the surface. Obviously, some of these systems are underground. To get in them and inspect them is a confined space, so you need confined space entry permits. So if you can inspect it from the surface, that makes life so much easier. One of the services we provide to our clients in this testing process is we actually video and photograph all of the setup so that that can go into any reports and be submitted for assessment, so that anyone can have a look at how it was all set up, even if you weren't there. I hope this video provides a little bit more detail and a little bit more assistance for those of you that might be thinking of testing to SQIDEP or even other environmental monitoring. If it all sounds a bit too intimidating, don't hesitate to contact us. We know how to set up a station to meet your site's unique needs. Thanks for joining us, and stay tuned for the next video where we'll talk about the challenges of flow measurement.